Lesson 2, Part 2, Using Local Variables in the Program. Refer to GP getPointInput function you create in Lesson 1. You got define GP getPointInput. You got an alert function GP getPointInput will get the user drawing input. Then close the alert. And for now, return T as if the function will work correctly. And then T, and then finish the function. So far, the function does not do much work. You will not begin to build on it. You will now begin to build on it by adding functions to get input from the user, which will define the start point, end point, and the width of the path. It is a good practice when creating AutoLISP programs to emulate the behavior of AutoCAD. For this reason, instead of asking the user to indicate the width by selecting a point in the drawing in respect to the center line of a linear shape, your program should ask for a selection of the half width. Once the GP getPointInput function is complete, the variables as well as the values assigned to them will no longer exist. Therefore, you will store user supply variables in local variables. Here's what the function might look like. So you got define the function get GP getPointInput, and you put in the variable start point, end point, and half width. It is the input variable, input parameters. So if set start point, get point, start point a path, then if set end point, get point, and we're gonna start PT. So that's interesting that start PT, get point, start PT, and end point a path. If set point half width, get distance, end point, half width of the path is true, then we have T is true there, and that's for closing. So I'm gonna check it in. I think Notepad is pretty good in terms of checking, just for checking. So we got there. So you see that. So if that one, return that one, and then if that one, return that one. So we have some if function there. So the local variables are declared following the slash character in the define function statement that begin the function. The first call is to get point prompts the user to indicate a start point. The endpoint is then acquired in relation to the chosen start point. While selecting the endpoint, the user will observe the rubber band line extending from the start point. Okay, so that's why we put in here to get a rubber band. Similarly, while getting the half width value, the user will view another rubber band line, this time representing distances emanating from the endpoint. To see how GP point input works, you type in getPointInput code. You can type in this one in the Visual Console. So GP getPointInput. So you need that GP getPointInput. Okay, so function GP getPointInput will get user drawing. That done. So with the console window following the last parenthesis of the block of code or in the next line below, then press enter and you will replace any previous load version of the GP getPoint function. So execute the function of the console will by entering getPointInput at the console prompt, then fix point when prompt enter the half width. So I think I need to, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change this by the define getPointInput. I need to change that. Gonna be different one. save it. Now I'm gonna call GP get point input again, so that will say something. Get point input will get user input. Now is this, it'll reload it.
So it's good practice when creating Lisp to emulate. Okay, so once again, once the GPU function is complete, the variable as well. Okay, so here we come back to here with the console. Okay, execute the function from the photo by entering at the console. So with the console window cursor following last parenthesis by the block of code. In the next line now, enter will replace previous load version. So we're gonna do this. Gonna put in that and we will enter. I think so. I think it's already loaded. I think we need to load it again. So we go to load text in editor. Yeah, after loading it, we can press start and run it. Okay, so now it's changed now. It will gonna ask us. So see, it's gonna ask us the start point of the path, and then it will ask us the end point of the path, and it will ask the width as well. Maybe we can define the width by just doing like that, and then it will exist. So it's running fine. So that is a function called get point input. That's very simple but effective, yeah, useful function. And that's it for using local variable in the program, which is part 2 of lesson 2 using Visual Leap debugging tool.